Hi, I'm Kamiza Chikula. Welcome to Mwazi Magazine.
I'm Hussam Baday, MD and CEO of Airtel Zambia.
It's wonderful to have you on the show. And first things first, we get to see you as MD and CEO, and we know that you're one of the captains of industry, but would like to find out, what was your upbringing like and how did it shape you into the man that you are today?
Thank you for this question. I think definitely the upbringing has many things to do with shaping your current situation and the future. I believe that I've been upbringing as a supportive, environment
Right.
that really impress the encouragement and guidance and give you seek all the support that I need. So I believe that the environment also you can say that impress the modesty and humility, and I think and also getting you into the way that you learn from your own experiences. And I think the way that it shaped me, that it give me more independence, self-discipline, more seeking experiences and all this kind of stuff.
Great. And did you always know what you wanted to become when you became older, or was there a specific point when you decided this is what I want to be?
No, definitely. Nobody I cannot claim that I know what I want to be and what life will be in the future. It is a kind of self-discovery process.
Right.
That every time you get, you know your weakness, you know your strengths,
Yeah.
you know more about your values, and you know more about your passions. And I think it takes time and experience to know yourself better and what you need in the future. So I think that it is that kind of journey that I took with myself to discover what I need to do and at what point I need to switch completely from what I'm doing to completely something different.
I hear you. Now, you've had a really, really great career. Watched your progression in the different roles. What are some of your career highlights? Which points really stand out for you?
No, I think I have a different milestones in my career.
Right.
I started as a teaching assistant.
Oh, wow.
I like teaching, being in that of academic
Right.
landscape,
Right.
and I think it reached my experience and the way that I look at different stuff. After that, in beginning, I'm an engineer, technical engineer, which is communication and electrical engineer. This also I've been in that kind of field for quite some time, for 10
Right.
for 10 to 9 to 10 years.
Right.
I was working as an engineer for different industry like Huawei and Ericsson.
Right.
After that, I did the massive change where I switched from the technical experience to a commercial experience, and that what really I like that kind of step because it's moving to different horizon after the self-discovery that I talk about. So 9 years I was a technical. More than 12 years I was in the commercial side. I work with the technology vendors. Also, I work with the telecom operators. So I've been in the engineering and in the commercial, and in the academic also field. So I believe that I'm being blessed to experience different type of milestone that really shape the way that I am in now.
You've been across various fields. I know engineering, there's academia, there's also marketing. I know you're into business administration and executive programs, both at Harvard and INSEAD. Which one is your passion? What is your firstborn or your favorite?
Yeah, I think that this is a journey that I took, because I like in the beginning the engineering. I like the math,
Right.
I like the physics and all, because it gives me the essence of life, the physics, all the principles over there.
Right.
But over time, I feel like myself, I have a different passion. I like sales. I like being into a strategic landscape and looking for the future more. I like to give, to look at the environment in a bigger scale.
Right.
So I believe that that's what triggers me. That I don't think that I could be engineer, but I feel that I will be average engineer.
Right.
I will not be that. Despite that, I did well in the academia side, but I feel that going further, I need really to search inside myself.
Right.
And I find that marketing really triggers me. But how to get to the marketing itself, that what I need to have some studies. That's why I started with MBA, business administration.
Right.
After that, I go to more, qualification in terms of getting the CIM, Chartered Institution of Marketing. Also give me more insights about what marketing is about. Marketing is not about brand and communication. Marketing goes beyond. That you understand what the future of the organization, how the organization should be managed, and how you get all into the consumer behavior, which I think that I like that kind of landscape much more.
Great. And your transition from marketing director to chief commercial officer and then through to CEO and MD, how was that? How did you make that move?
So at the end, you need to take it step by step.
Right.
And you never know what the future will be. But you need just to embrace also the presence and to know yourself in that and what is the missing and the gaps that you need to fill. So I believe that I took the marketing from the beginning. As a product manager, after that, a corporate product manager, going to consumer segment, I get into more analysis side until I become the chief marketing officer. Before joining Airtel itself, which has helped me to get another, boss outside Sudan and come to Zambia. And after that, it's a progression. But for all these kind of steps, there's something that you need really to outperform.
Right.
Where I believe that performance excellence is a very key for your next step.
Right.
After that, you need to know what your strengths and weaknesses and how you navigate through that. And you need to also to fill the gaps to get into the desire that you are looking for.
Got you. And how did your role in marketing prepare you to be MD? Because we tend to see a lot of people in finance or technical operations then ascend to the role of CEO and MD, but there are not too many marketing people who step in, and that tends to give a sort of different personality to the organization because these are people now. And how did that prepare you for the
I think it's a combination. Is what prepared me is not just about being marketing director or the CMO at the organization. What prepared also it's being in the technical side and being in the engineering itself in the beginning also, they give more perspective to what we are doing now.
Right.
If you ask me, number one, in the engineering side, what helped also, I think in engineering, you have that kind of skills of analytical skills.
Yes.
That is very important just to create this kind of critical thinking. You validate, you question the assumption that you base on. You look at the patterns. You have more into the data interpretation, how you understand what beyond the numbers itself. This also help you to, and like the math itself, you like the numbers and how to correlate things together. I think the engineering side has something to do with giving addition to what you are doing.
Right.
Being in the marketing, the good thing about marketing in many of organizations, marketing is also the heart of the organization because it's linking the strategy part, the revenue and what you call it, the top line of the organization, and also give you the financial part. Yes. So it links you on all these aspects together. So you understand the operation much more. Yeah. You know how to get things together, and after that, there is some soft skills you need to learn across the effective communication. You need to communicate really to the entire organization in a way that they can understand you. You need to collaborate, because collaboration is the essence of being even to go to the next step.
Correct.
You cannot work alone. So the more you get engaged with the team, the more you put yourself over there, the more that you get yourself heard across the organization, give you that kind of credibility, and that people, they can listen to you more. So I think that all also help. And also I believe that also that the educational part, the qualification. Every time, and then you need just to enhance your qualification by something more. I did the MBA, I did the CIM. Also I did the consumer behavior to understand how the consumer think and what they do, why they do what they do. Yeah. And from Harvard Business School. Also, I think this all help to prepare you for the next role.
Right. Now, what would you describe your leadership style as, and how do you identify talent in your organization? And when you identify this talent, how do you nurture it and bring it up?
So leadership is always a very complicated, matter. But I believe myself more into situational leadership. So I feel that I adapt more into the situation, and my leadership change depend on the situation that you are, the team that you are dealing with, which give me more flexibility for the changing circumstances, how you navigate through. And I believe that always I feel that I demonstrate different styles. Sometimes you can be more telling and directing to the team what they need to do. depending on the competence and the commitment. So if the team, they have very low competence and very high commitment, you go into more the telling and directing what need to be done exactly. Sometimes you move to the, depending on the people also, to the coaching or selling, explaining what we want to do, giving more insights, supporting and getting the team into certain level. And sometimes you need to also be participating, like supporting the decision making, especially for those people that they are and the team that they have high competence and variable commitment. So this participating and supporting the agenda is much more. And sometimes you go for delegating. You be less involved. You don't do. You just observe from a distance, especially for the team member where they have very high competence and very high commitment. So this kind of situation, change, and the leadership change. My leadership style also change depending on the situation and the people.
So a very fluid leadership style which adapts to what you're dealing with and whom you're dealing with as well.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Great. And in terms of your guiding principles and values and philosophies, what are some of those and how have you applied them into your leadership as the head man?
I believe I have one of the leadership code that I think is very true when it comes to the leader. I think John Maxwell, he said one day that a leader is the one who knows the way, walk the way, and show the way. So I believe that one of the principles that you need to have the vision. At least to know what the direction and the way that you want to take. And you cannot have vision without execution. So that's why walk the way. You need to lead by example. That you need to lead in the front, and sometimes in the behind, and sometimes within the team. So when you go in the front, always you coach the team to certain direction. When you lead in the behind, you know what they are doing, and you get all the people at the same pace. You cannot be in a distance and the team is far away behind you. Sometimes you need to lead from behind, just to make sure that anyone that is being inclusive and getting into the team. And sometimes you need to be in between, in the middle, just to sense the atmosphere and how things, and to collaborate with the team. So, and after that, you need to show, the other one is showing the way, which is about the effective communication. You cannot be a leader without being effectively communicating what you want to do. And the other big important essence is the collaborations. So collaboration with the team, get them all together, they understand, and breaking all the ice together just to get to do exactly what you want to do.
Right. Now, you have an interesting combination of engineering and marketing. So engineering is very numbers based, it's very precise, but the marketing is more fluid and creative. So clearly you have a combination of both capabilities. How do you feel you apply your creative side to your role?
I think it's very, very important thing. I think this is exactly how the engineering and marketing combine together. I think creativity also about number one, about challenging the assumptions. Over years, we have this conventional wisdom that we get over there. But sometimes you need to ask why. Why this is like this? How this can be improved? So always challenging the status quo is what really make the first trigger of the creativity itself. So that's why even in the way that we do, always we are questioning the assumption that we base all our logic about. Why you think this is the way that you base your assumption on. So this creativity process starts with this challenging the assumptions. Number two is what I call it combine and connect. Sometimes you need to combine and get more information from different sources together. Before you go and apply your creativity, first you need to understand and know the situation. That's why you need to impress, getting the information from different from things. After that, you create the association and connect things together to drive to an insightful, output. After that, you need to reflect, refine. So you reflect on whatever you do, and get this kind of reflection is very important in the self-discipline and in the creativity itself. After that, you refine if there is something doesn't work the way that you want. After that, you refine the process and the output to have different inputs to make it a different thing. So this is why I think this process itself helps to emphasize on the innovation and also create what we can call it the creativity atmosphere in the organization.
Great. Now, during your tenure, there are obviously some achievements that have been accomplished. What are some of those that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, I think it's very. No, I think what I'm really proudful. I speak about Airtel Zambia,
Yes.
being undisputed market leader,
Right.
for the customer market share, getting more than 10 million customer over time.
Right.
I think I'm really proud to serve those as many as those customers.
Right. Right.
And also over the years to increase the footprint in the network coverage to more than 88% of population coverage,
Right.
by having a massive site infrastructure. I think that also really make me very proud to have that one. And also in the social and creating jobs. I tell you something that I believe Airtel Zambia is the company with the most contribution in creating jobs. So we have more than 200,000 channel partners. This is over years. When you see that all this kind of livelihood are depending on the organization itself, it gives you that kind of, you've been proud
of it, yeah.
over the years. So, and the social development, also the organization over the years, that we get this kind of inclusivity and they get the gender diversity to 43% of the organization are female. And this kind of social development itself really, it makes you, proud and happy when you get this reflection. So I think that this is kind of key milestones that you are changing and transforming life, which is really make you feel good about it.
Great. And as CEO, what can Airtel customers expect with regards to your customer care and customer experience overall?
So I think customer experience is a very wide term, But as organization over the years, we came to know customer obsession is our DNA.
Oh, yes.
It's not just about serving the customer. You need to think proactively how you reduce the need for the customer to call or to complain. Especially that you are talking about industry are touching so many lives. I think the uniqueness about telecom industry, that there are so many customers, and all these customers are enabling the economy itself. So that's why for us to improve that customer experience, number one, we need to have a better network quality.
Right.
That's why the organization over the years, they're investing every year in a massive amount of money just to improve the network, add more site, add more technology, and improving the network coverage, mainly in the rural area, where we need to get more into the rural area, so for the customer to get connectivity and accessibility of the service. And also, to improve the customer service, we need to think proactively about the complaints. It's not just about someone calling the call center. Always I'm looking for those who are, we call it the silent complainer, that they don't call, they don't say anything, but they are having a very bad experience.
Right.
So for us, we need to proactively reduce that need to call or complain. So by creating the process, know what process need to be enhanced, look at the customer use cases, look at the customer journeys. After that, we improve all this before customer even complain. And I think we are doing good, but still there is much room for us to improve.
So you're in a sector that is constantly improving, constantly evolving. What would you say is on the cards with regards to Airtel continuing to innovate and remain relevant to its customers and keep improving the service? So what drives that?
I think that's a very good question. I think number one, for Airtel, we believe in invest ahead of time.
Right.
So ahead of time investment, I think over the years we proved that thing. Number one, we went to and deploy 100% 4G. Every site and every area that we have a connection, we make it 4G. Even before customer having a 4G device itself. So we think that we invest ahead of time. That is number one. Also in getting a very innovative technology. Like last year, we deployed what we call it, a technology call it a massive MIMO. That give you a very high speed, in internet. And I think that we have highly improved in the speed, to the point that some customers also complaining about data depletion. Now my data is being depleted faster in a negative way, but I think also because of the network of speed has really improved over the years because of the technology that we deployed.
Right.
So and the other thing, we need to be a simple and affordable portfolio.
Right.
So in Airtel, we embrace simplicity. I don't want to complicate. I don't want to give you so many options, many offers. Yeah, I need to make it simple for you to choose and what you need. That's why you see that our portfolio very simple. It is very direct, and rarely change. Also, we need to create this kind of familiarity. And created habits is very important. Customer doesn't change habit easily.
No.
And what they used to do, they want to do it again.
Yes.
So familiarity is very key for us. And this is the philosophy that we have, that just get this. And I think over years we succeed to get this familiarity, and very few change over the time.
So you've actually touched on a question I was going to ask about, and that is Airtel's customer value proposition. And you sort of hinted on that within your answer already, highlighting that you're keeping it simple and giving the customer what they actually want. Is this something that you hold on to, and it's something that's worked for you? Do you see it continuing to work?
No, I think so. I think we are in a very simple industry. We are not creating needs. Customers need telecom. They need to connect. We are not the one that who creating the need. The need is already there. For us, it's just we need to facilitate.
Right.
We need to facilitate the environment. That's why our proposition always remain number one, network.
Right.
We need to have better network, better quality, high coverage. Thus, we need to go to more size. Number two, distributions. That we need to get closer to the customer. I don't want the customer to go for miles to find a recharge,
right.
or to do a recharge,
right.
or to buy a scratch card. Now you don't have a scratch card, to buy a SIM. That's why we have a massive distribution, across all the areas. Just make it closer to the customer. Number two is simplicity and affordability for the products, and customer care, which is more to a proactive approach. I think that's, in a nutshell, is our proposition to the consumer.
Can you elaborate on the specific initiatives and partnerships that Airtel Zambia has had, and also what it's trying to do to promote capacity building, not only in Zambia, but in the region as well?
I think you cannot work in an environment without partnerships. I think over the years we created a very robust partnerships, and in creating the capacity building. I think I can just name few that we have. ZOCs, this Zambia Urban Community Schools. I think we have very strategic partnerships where they nominate school that Airtel go and build, or sometimes you go and rehabilitate and renovate the infrastructure itself. This year we adopted 2 schools. Last year, one in Mwanzi and one in Shisamba. And last year we built from scratch 2 schools. At the end of this year, we are going to have adopt another 2 schools. So this is really creating, this environment, conducive environment for learning. The other big partnerships is UNICEF. I think you see that in the beginning of the year, we announced a very strategic 5 years partnership with UNICEF, where we want to go to the e-passport agenda. That is the e-learning, and how we can connect more schools into the internet and let them get this big horizon of learning together. I think it's a very strategic partnership, just not in Zambia, even in the region.
Right.
And also we have a very strategic partnership with this ZICTA, where we have the ICT Innovation Forum, where it's an incubator for all those who have a brilliant idea or business, and we just make this environment there for them really to get to understand what they need to do, what the business entails. And after that, they go and they open different businesses. And I see that they also this create businesses. Even we partner them with Airtel later and become one of our partner for these small businesses, and we can see the output of these businesses. I think we have much more. I think even this year we have a partnership with Lusaka City Council, where we go for the planting of the trees. I know that we have this drought, and drought resilience is very important. And this is a mandate of our sustainability, how we can help the community. And that's why we go and build 350 trees, and we're going to do more. So I think over the years, we create that kind of partnerships for capacity building.
Now, let's talk about mentors. Did you have any mentors along your path? Do you have any mentors? And how have they impacted you, and what have you learned from them that you're using today?
I think mentor, this is a life. It's within your life cycle. Every time you have a mentor, starting from your parents. Parents, your first mentor, they guide you through. They encourage you. They give you the principle and the values. So I think I learn a lot from my upbringing, from my parents, that they really guide me to the way that I am and give you the support needed. Always they give you that support. Sometimes we didn't give that kind of shed light on the importance of how these parents they give you in your career, not because they are building you and building your character. I think this is one. And across all my career, there is so many mentors that I learned.
Right.
Mentor is not someone that you have a dedicated relationship that you are my mentor.
Right.
Sometimes mentor could be someone that they can help you to understand the principle of life lesson.
Right.
Even your driver, if you have a driver, it could be a mentor in a specific thing. So it's just about you need to be open for you learn.
Right.
I think number one, you need to be humble because you will not learn without humility. Thus you need to be humble to receive. After that, you need to be alerted that this is an information, and also self-reflection. Every time you reflect on whatever you have learned. But also I have very professional mentor across my career that really helped me. First, self-discovery and self-awareness.
Right.
Number two is adaptability, because you need to be adaptable.
Right.
You are in a very changing environment, and every time there is something new. But how you adapt yourself to that change, how you change yourself when it's needed. So you need to be less rigid and more, embrace that the change itself.
Right.
And also what I learned, the key thing that I learned from the mentor is the growth mindset. It's not about your legacy and what you have achieved, even if they are brilliant.
Right.
This is just in the past.
Right.
But every time how to improve yourself and keep the momentum and develop this kind of mentality of growth mindset. Every time you need to grow. That's why I learned over the years that continuous learning is a process that you need to be. Whatever you reach, you need to go for the next step and to learn more, from the environment, from the self, from different inputs in your life.
Still staying on the topic of mentorship, are you mentoring anyone, and what is your mentoring style? Is it formal, or is it dropping gems and nuggets each time you're with your mentee?
I told you before that I started as a teaching assistant, as a teacher, yeah?
Right.
So I like mentoring. This is the way that, it's not about that I'm your mentor, you need to listen to me.
Right.
It's just about you give this information, the support, the clarity of the information. But even I have very professional mentors. I've been in the organization, we have the mentorship, discipline, where we have certain people, they have certain mentors over there. And I have been on this through experience many times. And I enjoy that way. Just to give from what I've been through and to give some, glimpse about the future. But you need to own your experience.
Right.
You can give inputs and tips, but then you are the one who need to navigate it through and put it as a building blocks together.
Right.
And but I'm very pleased to be, a mentor, in my life.
Now, obviously, the role of MD and CEO is a high-pressure job. How do you cope with the pressure? What do you do? What activities do you involve yourself in to sort of decompress and take away that pressure?
No, I think it's very, very critical information and critical question. I think number one is not just because of MD and CEO, because of telecom itself is a very demanding environment and very competitive and very dynamic. You will not find it in many other industries, because every day is a new day. Every day there is a new complaint. There is a different stakeholder that you need to manage, because you are talking about millions of customers taking your service. So it's and nobody can have an outage or service is not available for very few minutes. You cannot afford having that together. So this is it's created a lot of pressure, high demand. You need to navigate through that. Over the years, it's also a self-discovery process. You cannot say that today I will manage the stress, but you need to go through it over the years. Yes. But what my philosophy and the coping mechanism that if I can qualify, I think number one, you need to effective communicate.
Right.
I think effective communication is very important. You need to seek support. You need to give clarity. You need to show why is not working and why, and you need to also to manage the expectation. So communication is very important. You don't take it all upon you. No. You need to involve the other. At least they will appreciate and understand. Right. The more you get it into yourself alone, you get more high pressure of that one. Right. Number two is you need to, sometimes you say no. Always we are. Sometimes it's cultural that you say that yes. Sometimes saying no is very important. So you need to know when to say no, and when to say yes. Don't accommodate anything coming to you. Sometimes you need to know exactly when to say no. The other thing also, you need to create a priority list
Right.
or a priority task. Prioritization is very important because you need to know what's important, what is urgent. You cannot treat all the matters the same. So you need to know exactly that kind of the list and what to deal with it. Also, the other coping mechanism is, I call it exercising. Sometimes the physical activity take a lot of your stress out. That's why I go to the gym many times and I play sport, just to try to cope with all this kind of stress.
And which sport are you into?
So I play football. I'm a very good striker.
Great.
I score so many goals, and this gives me that kind of momentum and energy. And sometimes I play tennis from time to time, and I like watching tennis also. Is very important. So, and the key thing about also managing the stress, the social. I think social activity is very important. You need to connect to your family, your friends, those you speak to get out of that, pressure to someone that has no relevance to what you are doing.
That's right. So a good work-life balance where you're giving everything you can at the office and giving everything you can to life outside of the office as well.
True. That's why you need to create what I call it daily routine. So daily routine is very important. You need to create the habit. I think we are humans. If you don't have the habit, always you will find different ways. So I think creating habit is very important. That's why I have a daily routine I created over the years. That what I need to be doing in the morning, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. After that I go to the gym, in that morning itself, and after that I go and I need to know what I need to do exactly in the day. So that kind of routine itself is very important and give you the self-discipline. The other thing about work balance, I think there are 4 attributes that you need to fulfill over the thing. I think number 1 is the mind, what they call it, that you need to read. And you need to have that cognitive ability there. So I think reading, learning some new skills, getting new skill set is very important. That was also relieve you from the stress over there. I think the other thing is a physical. Physical side, which I think that I talk about the exercise and this thing, and definitely the social part, but most importantly also the spiritual part. That you need to connect to a purpose, to some sort of fulfillment. That is very important also to reach you and to be away from this sometimes materialistic demand. You get there's something that you need to connect to. So I think that also helps you to create that life balance, if you can qualify it.
So knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your younger self if you had an opportunity to chat with you 10, 15, 20 years ago and say, hey, I've seen what the future looks like. What advice would you give a younger you?
Okay, I think that's very, that need to have a self-reflection. I think number 1, I will tell my younger one, or my younger self, embrace failure. Embrace failure. Because over the years, I get to a conclusion. Failure and success is the 2 sides to the same coin.
That's right.
You cannot succeed without failing. The failure itself is your inputs for your success. Sometimes when I'm young, when you are failing, this is a very big thing, and you look like that. Always you have a very negative self-esteem, and you don't like that. But no, if you embrace failure, then I think that will create a better version of you. This is number 1. Number 2, I will say to myself, trust yourself more. Trust your ability, trust your strengths, trust your passion, trust your intuition, and trust your decisions. Because over the life, you have so many people tell you that this is wrong, this is not the way, you are not going to do it. There is so much negative energy sometimes and suppression. That's what sometimes you do not go and guide yourself into certain intuition. Always you have that kind of someone is environment holding you back. I think the thing that always trust yourself. And the third one is perseverance, where I need really to resist,
keep going,
and come back after so many setbacks. So that is very important. Just go, do it. Execution is very critical, for your success.
Great. And We're almost at the end of our conversation today, but what projects do you have outside of work that you're excited about?
I already spoke about one of them, which is I think I like playing sports.
Right,
Mainly, I spoke about football.
right,
From time to time, I go and play football. Not as frequent as I used to be now, but at least I'm still there. And also going to playing tennis. I think playing sport is very important because it's a relief and also it's a passion at the same time.
right.
And also, I think one of the big projects also personal development. That always I believe that I need to develop myself better.
Right.
That's why continuous learning, continuous reading,
Yeah.
and getting different stuff from different people and socializing with the different
Right.
different stakeholders also help a lot.
Great. And finally, what are your 3 top strategies or tips that you would give for a person who wants to be a leader in the workplace?
I believe for you to be a leader, execution.
Execution.
What works? Idea 1%, but execution is 99%. So execution excellence is very important. You need to perform.
Right.
If you need really to be there. Execution excellence is the key things. Whatever task is being given, or if the mission is there, give it your time, give it all there. You need to do it perfectly, up to your knowledge, but don't play half and half. Just try to put it all together there. Just put your mind, heart, hands, and effort over there. Execution excellence is number 1. Number 2, effective communications.
Right.
If you are not communicating what you are doing and what is it about, and you have, and communication here is not about that you are speaking. Communication here is about even active listening. Before you speak, you need to listen actively to understand, not to listen to speak. So I think effective communication is very important. That's what really it gives you the sense and the inputs to the other and the outputs from the others. So I think that's very important. You need to be effective communicator. Number 3 is collaborations. If you are in a workplace, you cannot do it by yourself. You need to get all the team members together. Right. So collaboration is very important. And one of the key things in collaboration, you need to understand the other person's view.
Right.
Sometimes we go to this fight because you don't understand other things. That's why sometimes you need to understand why that someone think that way. Right. If you get to that understanding of other point of view, after that you prepare yourself there, and the team, they can impress your logic. Right. So I think that is one of the third thing that is very important, effective collaborations.
Great. Thank you so very much. It's been a wonderful conversation. There's a lot that we've learned from you, and we've had a chance to see what happens behind the scenes and to understand the man behind the position and the portfolio. Truly grateful that you spared time for us.
Thank you. Nice. It's my pleasure being with you and having this wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Truly grateful.
Thank you.
And it's a wrap. Thank you so very much for joining Nkwazi Table Talks. Our guest today was Mr. Hussam Baday, and he's none other than the Managing Director and CEO at Airtel Zambia.